Hi, I'm Wayne and this is Bassador Woodworking. Today's video is a lot different than past videos. There's no project today. This is a subscriber appreciation video. I recently hit around 1,200 subscribers on this channel, which is a level of success that I never thought I would reach. I set out to do this YouTube video kind of on a whim during the pandemic. My wife, who's actually recording for me today, noticed that I was very anxious all the time, and she said that I needed a creative outlet. And I had already been doing woodworking a lot more during the pandemic than I had previously, so I decided I'd start recording the projects I was making and publishing them to YouTube. And the response and engagement I've received from the YouTube community has been overwhelming. So I decided to take questions from my subscribers and my followers on Instagram and Facebook and answer any questions that you guys had for me. As I mentioned before, my wife is helping me with this video. She is controlling the camera for this video, and she's also standing just over here off camera. She's going to read the questions for me. That way, this isn't just me talking to the camera. I actually have someone to speak to and answer the questions to. So hopefully it's less robotic. And the dog's in here too, if you can't hear her snorting. She doesn't like sawdust. All right, Liz, whenever you want to do the first question.
Okay, first question. I'm a new subscriber to your channel and I enjoy your content and the old school tools you use. I was wondering, what was your first project?
First of all, thank you for subscribing and welcome. And the first project that I remember actually having like a majority stake in building, and not just like holding my dad's beer while he changed the like brakes or something on his truck in the driveway, was at my dad's work on a Saturday. He brought my sister and I in to work with him, and he had some scrap plywood and some scrap like 2x4s, and he decided that we were going to just build a couple of little end tables for our bedrooms. So he essentially told us what needed to go where, but he had us do all of the work, including like cutting things down and stuff like that. He used the table saw because we weren't tall enough to see over it, and any kickback would have come right back into our skulls. But yeah, I've posted the picture of the table on Instagram. I'll also put it on the screen here. But I did that when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, and I still have it, so apparently I did a pretty good job.
Should we get it?
Oh, well, I'll post the picture of it. Yeah, I'm not gonna run into the other room, grab it, and like run in with my luck, I'd trip and drop it and it would break, and then that would be the end of it.
Okay, Married Man Woodworking asks, can you discuss the mission of your channel? I watch your channel and am very impressed with your knowledge and with your shop. Also, can we get more information about the dog? LOL.
First of all, thank you, Married Man. Your support of this channel has always been greatly appreciated. You were one of the first channels to follow me. You were one of the first channels to comment consistently on my projects. You were the literal first channel to feature me in a video, and the group of creators that you've brought together through us all commenting on each other's things, watching each other, supporting each other, the Facebook group you have us in, it has really been a huge support system throughout this entire endeavor. There are multiple times where I would have just stopped content creating because I wasn't getting the views I was hoping for, or my schedule just didn't allow for me to do a video. But seeing all of these content creators come together really gave me the support and the drive that I needed to like push through the times when I wasn't particularly feeling like doing a project. So first of all, thank you for that. Second of all, the purpose and mission and goal of this channel is to create a community of, whether it be woodworkers, content creators, DIYers, that enjoy similar content. One of the things that I do a lot in my personal time is consume a lot of woodworking content, DIY content, tech content, and I love all of it. And one of the things that I love about it is when I see another YouTuber approach a project a lot of the time I think exactly like they do, but other times I think of like, is there a different way to solve that problem? And instead of writing out what I think might be a different way of doing it, sometimes it's better to try it out. And if I'm going to try out that different way of doing that thing, why not record it and publish my own thing? And as for Bailey, this is Bailey. She is a going on 5-year-old, right, Liz?
Yeah, 4 going on 5.
4 going on 5-year-old Bassador. She is from a rescue called Dixie Girl Dog Rescue. Out of Alabama. They take dogs that are either strays or surrendered in Alabama, and they transport them up north for adoption. So we picked her up in Rhode Island on a really snowy day. She was one of the only non-puppy puppies that were in her group, but she saw all of the puppies being carried away by their new owners. So she refused to walk in the snow, and I had to carry a full-grown dog through the parking lot of a Rhode Island Petco. She is the sweetest dog ever. She's the most affectionate dog I've ever had, and she's the gentlest dog I've ever had. She has a bottomless appetite. She hates vegetables but loves everything else. There are certain human foods that she now assumes are dog foods, like peanut butter crackers, Cheez-Its, chicken nuggets. Anything you'd feed a 12-year-old, we feed her. And she's also a great little shop dog. As I've said in like my shop tour video and stuff like that, if I'm running machines or producing sawdust, I don't let her in here. She is my world, so I don't want anything to happen to her. Sorry, Liz, you're my world too. But like, this is just unconditional love that never gets mad at me. So I keep her out of here if I'm doing anything that could be in any way hazardous to her, including things that are loud, because she doesn't like them. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you're a good girl. Yeah, if any other questions about Bailey, feel free.
Check out.
Oh yeah, as Liz just reminded me, I will post a link to the Dixie Girl Dog Rescue in the description below. Check them out. They do really good work. Even if you're not in the market for a dog, consider donating. They can always use help, and they do really important work. And Bailey here wouldn't exist without them.
Next question. What made you want to start a YouTube channel?
So the pandemic mostly made me want to start this YouTube channel. Being locked inside a house for 15 months would do a lot of weird things to a person. And my wife quickly identified throughout the pandemic that I was getting very anxious. And it wasn't because I was afraid that I was going to die from the pandemic or anything like that. It was because I was cooped up inside and I didn't really have any kind of like creative outlet to either let off steam or anything like that. I was working remotely and just sitting at my computer all day, and then at night sitting at my computer just watching different things. So I was just in front of a computer screen for 15 to 18 hours a day. And I had tried other things to relax. My wife and I did a 1,000-piece Star Wars puzzle that made us want to kill ourselves. And I just kind of floated the idea of I might try to start a YouTube channel. And I was just kind of talking about it with my wife. She really encouraged me to do it. And then I settled on well, the one thing that I've always done throughout my life that I could see as being evergreen and me not wanting to stop or me not getting sick of was woodworking. So during high school I had a YouTube channel that was just vlogging, and it had zero success, but I did it for quite a while and then stopped promptly when I went to college because then people could possibly see it. So I just deleted all the videos and it's now gone.
Woodcraft716 asks, I'd like to know when you started woodworking and what drove you to the craft. Thanks, buddy.
So again, just like with Married Man, Woodcraft716 has been a very early supporter of this program. This program.
On your local PBS channel.
We're the BBC.
Up next on BBC World News.
So, just like Married Man Woodworking, Woodcraft716 was a very early supporter of this channel. Married Man and Woodcraft 716 both have excellent YouTube channels. I will link both of their channels down below. What first got me into woodworking was actually my father. It's what he did. He was a woodworker and he was also a machinist. And growing up, we didn't buy new things, we fixed old things. So if something broke, we repaired it until it wasn't capable of being repaired, and then we'd go buy a new one. So like one time we had this really old 1980s TV all through growing up, and you used to have to turn it on and let the tubes warm up, which entailed turning it on and turning the volume all the way down because the TV would literally scream until it was warm enough, and then the picture would come on, and that's how you knew you could start watching TV. That took anywhere from like 5 to 25 minutes, and then one day it just stopped warming up and just started screaming non-stop for like 30 minutes. So my dad kicked the screen in, and then we went to Sears and bought a new TV. Did that answer the question at all? So yeah, I've always
your dad.
So I've always liked woodworking because my dad liked woodworking. He taught me how to do it.
There you go. Good question from. Do you want to say who it's from?
Yeah.
From AJ and Melissa. How did you get started woodworking?
Yeah, my father. He taught me how to woodwork. He's a woodworker and a machinist, and he taught me pretty much everything that I know, whether it is the good or a bad way to do it.
Question is from our good friend and wedding officiant, Kevin.
Our solemnizer, Kevin.
Sure. He says, Toolbox challenge. If you had to work for a year with only 3 sizes of drill bits, 2 hand tools, and 1 power tool, what do you choose?
So, this is the only one that I prepared for ahead of time because it's a more complex question. So I have 2 sets of answers depending on what the spirit of the question is. So, one thing that stays constant through everything is I would have a hand drill. If I wouldn't waste my power tool on a drill, so I would use this. My 3 drill bits would be an 1/8 inch bit, a 1/4 bit, and a 3/4 inch Forstner bit. They're my 3 most used bits. And then if clamps count as tools, then I would use a hand screw. It's my most versatile clamp, and if I'm limiting myself to a small number of tools, this would be my most useful of clamps over like an F-style clamp or a C clamp or something like that. If a clamp doesn't count as a tool, I would replace it with a chisel. And then my 1 power tool, if I'm allowed to make jigs for it, and if that's still in the spirit of the challenge, it would be my table saw, because I could make any cut on the table saw if I build the correct jig, and I could build the correct jig using the tools that I laid out. And then if I can't build jigs for it, and that's not in the spirit of the question, I debated picking like the Shopsmith because it can do anything but nothing particularly well. But I figured that wasn't in the spirit of it. That's like one of those, like, if you could only have 1 tool, what would it be? And someone picks like multi-tool, or you only get 1 wish and someone votes for more wishes, or wishes for more wishes. So if I couldn't do the table saw, I'd pick the radial arm saw because I can cross-cut, miter, and rip with it.
Bonus question. If you could only work with 1 grit of sandpaper to complete the package, what is it?
220 grit. That's as much explanation as needs to be there.
Okay. Next question. Do you do woodworking full-time, or do you have a job outside of your hobby?
So woodworking is not my full-time job. Woodworking isn't even really a job of any kind for me apart from the YouTube channel. I typically don't sell my woodworking. I will make woodworking projects for friends, family. I will occasionally make a commissioned piece, which I have a video for one coming up next week. But typically I don't sell my woodworking. It's purely a hobby. My mentality behind that, my reasoning behind it is things that I've enjoyed doing craft-wise that I have then tried to do for money ends up killing my love of that craft. So if I were to start trying to woodwork full time, I fear that I would grow to resent woodworking when I'm forced to do it under a time crunch for money. My full-time job is I work in IT. I'm the Director of Information Technology at a small Boston area college.
The next two questions are from your sister. First one, why do you look the way you do?
There are a lot of reasons. None of them are good reasons. And a lot of it is just bad luck, I'm guessing.
Genetics, what you share?
Yeah.
Okay. Second one, is it true that your mom died?
That is true. So my sister and I have this weird way of avoiding pain by making really inappropriate jokes about it, especially around holidays where my mother played an integral part of those holidays. So essentially, we try to make each other feel really bad about our mother being dead because our mother's dead. My mom passed away almost 2 years ago, and it was very quick. She died of cancer. She was living out in California. My sister and I flew out there to be with her at the end, but we've never processed it, so we just make jokes about it so that we don't have to feel the pain. Next question.
That's the last question.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a good way to end it, I guess. So that's the end of the questions. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. Thank you to everyone who's watched this video and who has subscribed, commented, liked, disliked, engaged with my videos in any way. I really appreciate it. And by default, I'm usually a pretty sarcastic person, and I'm not very good at like showing emotion or being animated or likable or having anything resembling charisma. But I really do enjoy making these videos for the people that watch them, and I really do feel like I found a great group of friends in the Woodworkers YouTube Woodworkers Facebook group. I'm not going to just start signaling out channels, but I do on the bottom of my YouTube channel have a list of channels that I think that you should check out and follow. I will comment that they are all excellent channels, and they are all very creative people who all wholly deserve your support. So I will put links to all of their channels in the description below. I really do urge you to check them all out. And thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with new projects as they are released. And until next time, thank you. I don't know where I was going with my train of thought. I was trying to go to...
Your ADHD is really coming through hard today. Well, you were talking about community. That was good.
Yeah.